Going into the 2020 championship race at Phoenix, Kevin Harvick has won 9 races heading into the race, but isn't eligible to win a championship. Are the playoffs even fair? Let's talk about it. The NASCAR playoffs are a major point of contention for race fans, and rightfully so, because race fans are very nostalgic, as I've talked about before. Race fans love NASCAR of yesterday about just as much as they love NASCAR today, if not more. When you have something like the NASCAR playoffs, there's always going to be people that like the old point system more, and they're going to be trying to poke holes in the playoff system and find things they don't like. They're going to be critical of it. For example, Kevin Harvick won 9 races going into the championship race at Phoenix, but isn't eligible to race for a championship because he didn't perform in the round of 8. Going into the round of 8, Kevin Harvick and his team knew exactly what they needed to do to advance to the championship 4, but to be frank, they didn't do it. They kind of had a terrible round actually, other than almost winning Kansas, which maybe had the rules package been different, maybe they would have made it. Texas was a terrible race. He smacked the wall and just wasn't able to rebound. But that would be okay had Martinsville not been such a disaster. Kevin had his troubles at Martinsville, and it was a very tight race. To me, it kind of feels like they didn't show up with their best foot forward. Didn't feel like the setup in the car was right. Didn't really feel like they had the best car that they were capable of bringing, in my opinion. And then things get a little more interesting because we heard murmurs of team orders from Joe Gibbs Racing ordering the 20 not to pass the 11 car, which would have allowed Kevin Harvick to get into the championship 4. Now, I want to revisit Spingate from 2013. And essentially what happened there was Michael Waltrip Racing, they manipulated the outcome of the 2013 Federated Auto Parts 400 to allow Martin Truex Jr. to get into the chase. Clint Boyer spun out, and then Brian Vickers pitted under green. It was really easy to prove that it was intentional and that they had manipulated the race to help their teammate get into the playoffs. Now, the situation here at Martinsville is a little bit different because they might have been telling Eric not to pass the 11, but it's hard to prove Eric's actual intent there, so it's kind of hard to actually pin it on someone, and no one was pulling off of the racetrack. It's kind of hard for NASCAR to actually drop a penalty on that just because the information may not quite be there. So things really just did not work out for Kevin Harvick in the round of 8. He really just did not have the races that he needed to be able to advance despite having such an advantage going in. NASCAR's tried to give drivers these playoff points for performing earlier in the season to kind of offset and to kind of allow people like Kevin Harvick a better chance at getting to the championship 4. So, the question is, are the playoff systems fair? And in my opinion, yeah. I still like the old point system, but I think the playoffs are fair because everyone going into it knows the rules. They know what they got to do. Kevin Harvick knew what he had to do in the round of 8 to advance, and he just didn't do it. The playoff system has given us some great races over the years, though. I always think back to the 2015 Fall Martinsville race where Jeff Gordon got his last win and then had a chance to race for a championship in his farewell season. That was a hallmark race of this past decade of NASCAR that I think we will look back on as a historic race. Race fans are very nostalgic. We're always going to like things of the past, but if it keeps you from enjoying what you have in front of you, I don't know what to tell you. I've enjoyed the playoff system. Some people would argue that it's a manufactured form of entertainment, but sports in general can kind of be a manufactured form of entertainment. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. I think there's going to be a lot of varying opinions about this, and that should be interesting to hear. I like hearing what you guys have to say. Also, follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I have the links for those in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, do all the fun YouTube stuff that you hear on every YouTube video ever. But until next time, my name's Tyler. This is Tight End Loose Off, and I'll see you later.